Yeah. It's all about the Benjamins, baby. Yeah. It's all about the Benjamins, baby. Now, what y'all wanna do? Wanna be ballers, shot callers, brawlers, who be dipping in the bins with the spoilers, on the low from the Jake and the Taurus.
Welcome to Keep It 100, the Coach Jones Show on this Wednesday. I do mean Wednesday afternoon.
Yes, sir.
With my man Big D, the outstanding QB that played a hell of a game. Let's keep it 100. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing good.
How you doing this morning, Coach Jones?
Doing great, man. Big time win.
Yes, sir.
You know, we prepared a lot for that game, and it showed, and we're excited about moving forward and get ready for Booker T. Washington.
Well, Coach, I got to tell you, man, going into that game, I know it was a tough game. Both you guys are, top tier teams in the state that, at 5A and 6A, they're being the number one team in 6A small. You're going starting with a new QB,
Yes,
coming in as his first year as a starter, going against a QB that's highly ranked over there at Choctaw. They call him a man of steel.
Yes, sir.
But I want to say D Nice, I'm going to name him D Nice.
Be nice. I like it.
Came out and played a great game,
Yes.
To come out and be his first time starting and doing the things he did, and he took some bumps and bruises, but he bounced right back up.
Yes, sir.
And he led the team, being on the sideline, watching him
Yeah.
in the game, go over there and tell the guys, hey, let's go score again. That's a leader.
Yeah.
And that's taught, from home, and then what you guys put over here at Del City. You guys,
Sir.
you bend but you don't break.
Yes, sir.
And I just want to kind of throw out his numbers. He was 13 for 20 for 259 yards,
Wow.
3 TDs and no interceptions, and that's a 65%. Folks, listen to me, 65% passing rate as his first time starting as a Del City QB.
Yes, sir.
And me and you kind of talked all summer about what you had at the QB position, and you kept just telling me, said, man, Tony, because I would give you a hard time. I would.
Absolutely.
And I keep
you
it
should,
good.
though. You should criticize me. It shouldn't be any favoritism or any bias like some people think. You're hard on me just like you are with everybody else. And I appreciate that.
Yeah, and we talk, numerous on the phone, and we talk, and I kept saying, Coach, if you get that quarterback play, you got a chance to go get that gold ball.
Mm-hmm.
So, since we got nickname's gonna be D Nice. His real nickname is Day Day, but I'm gonna call him D Nice because he was nice last Friday night.
Yes, sir.
But let's talk about the game a little bit. Going into the game, how did you feel?
I felt good. Really, it was just give my guys a chance. In the past, I felt like they didn't get a chance to show themselves, so I was just giving them a chance this year, giving them the ball.
Well, like I said, you spread the ball around to different receivers, but the thing about it, the most important thing, and I know Coach Jones and the offensive staff really liked about, is that you didn't have any turnovers. If you can go down and throw the ball down the field and throw the ball 13 times, 20 times and complete 13 of them and not have no turnovers and 3 TDs and one of the TDs you roll it out. And folks, you'll get to see it when we play this show back. You're rolling out and you hit Kanizer on like a 70-yard touchdown bomb. And that was a lot done by you. You kind of got out the pocket. You found him in the ball. It wasn't like it was a duck. It was a spiral on the money. So I just tell you, you've been a first-year QB, and I know you did a little bit of quarterback training over the summer, but you can just tell you put the work in. And people talk about some of these QBs in the state of Oklahoma, and I know you're the type of guy that, I don't care where I go play college ball or what I do, you just want to play ball. But if it's playing QB, if it's playing DB, if it's playing wherever they need me at, that's the type of player you are. But Dave, I want to just tell you, man, I'm excited. I know Coach Jones is excited, and like I said, you coming in being a starting QB, you did some amazing things. So, what would you tell your teammates? That's game one, but what do we have to do to get better for game 2?
Definitely room to improve. I can't keep taking the sacks that I took. I got to get the ball out, and just room to improve.
Hey, Coach Jones, I want you to kind of speak on, Day-Day, Mr. Goodwin, being a first-year starter and you believing in him, because I know you got 2 great quarterbacks, and you got George over here too, waiting for his opportunity, but sometimes you got to wait. And I've always heard good things happen to people that wait, and Day-Day waited his turn. Now it's George get his time to shine. But what was your decision going into the season, naming him the QB?
Well, it started last January. It's a couple quarterback supposedly gurus in the area, and You know, a lot of people want to send their quarterbacks to those trainings. Me personally, I want to get trained by our coaches. And,
Yes, sir.
you know, Coach McGuire did a great job getting these guys ready. We started in January. It was player-led most of the time, and we let those guys go out and throw routes on air. Day and George did a good job of leading those guys and making sure it was organized and making sure those guys took care of business on that end. And we listened to all the critics all offseason saying that if we had a quarterback, we possibly could have went deeper in the playoffs, and then in the future we could possibly compete for a state title if we had a quarterback. So we took it personal. We took it personal that everybody was challenging us, and the quarterbacks took it personal. Not only that everybody was challenging us, but going against the best quarterback in the state, in my opinion, at this point in time. And you know, Day did a great job all offseason. He did a great job leading. He did a great job showing leadership on the basketball court when they played in the state championship as well. So we knew we had a leader, and we knew we had a leader with George. And I think Day just outplayed him. Day, his mobility, his ability to create plays out of nothing, helped us make that choice. And you know, moving forward, I think we're going to continue to grow. I think the sky's the limit for us.
Yes, sir.
And I spoke about it. I said he's similar to like a Muggsy Bogues, to the point where his height and his size doesn't hurt him. It doesn't affect his game.
No.
And the scary thing is he didn't get to play defense, which I think cornerback is just as good as cornerback. So that's another tool that we're going to be able to have and possibly use this week as well. Like he said, I think he can get the ball out in some situations quicker, and I think he can still utilize his feet more. So I'm excited about him. I'm excited to see him grow. But we knew this because his sophomore year, our quarterback got hurt against Bixby in the second round of the playoffs, and he came in and he played well. He threw the ball well, threw for 2 touchdowns. So you do that as a sophomore versus Bixby, we knew what he had to bring to the table.
Yes, sir.
So looking back at it, you know, and looking back at the game, we always say the person who creates the most turnovers usually wins the game.
Yes, sir.
The turnovers were the difference. You know, still had a lot of big numbers. Obviously, he had a huge game. I have a lot of respect for him. I have a lot of respect for that offense and what Coach Corby's doing. But the Kalen outplayed him because he didn't turn the ball over. Turnovers create points. Turnovers create momentum. Turnovers create extra possessions for the offense. Even if they don't score, you're getting their defense on the field and getting extra reps. So him not turning the ball over, that was the difference in the game. I'm excited to see him continue to grow. I'm excited to see him grow in the passing game, not only that, in the running game as well, and getting more reps on defense to show that he's not only a quarterback, he's a cornerback as well. You know, we do both ways here, and we're going to live and die by that. We're not worried about our guys getting injured. We're built for that in the weight room, so I'm excited to see him continue to grow this week and see what he can do on the field versus Booker T.
Well, you know, it's funny you talk about, you know, his carries. We even talked about that. He had 9 carries for 75 yards. I mean, you know, all-purpose yards, almost 300-some yards, you know. And granted, like I said, you had 2 great quarterbacks going in. You know, everybody knew about, you know, Still also, you know, the man is still, they call him. But no one knew about, you know, Day,
No,
you know,
not
D
at all.
Nice. So I tell you, he put people on the map that, you know, he's a great athlete. And it's sad because, like you said, he's good on defense. I watched him on defense playing. He's a great defensive back, and he go play for somebody defensive back. And I mean, he can play for somebody quarterback.
Yeah.
But it just shows you what Dell City has over here. That athletes guys step up when they need to step up. You know,
Yes.
you know, I've like I said, I told you all the time, you got to get that QB. Well, I think you found that QB. I think you
Absolutely.
guys can go a long way. I know you get on the road this week and go play Booker T, a team that beat you last week. But I think they can change some things on that. But Dave, before you let you go, man, I want you to tell the teammates, you know, what you expect this week and in the weeks coming to Dale City High School football.
We just want to play our brand of football, physical, fly around, swarm to the ball, and like last week, no turnovers.
Yeah.
Sir.
I tell you one thing I did like about watching the game last week and, you know, getting to see it up close, just the love they have for each other. You know,
Yeah.
a Nigel score, it's like everybody's happy. You know,
Selfish.
Yeah, I mean they're over there. You know, Day, you know, throws a long touchdown pass. He's over there giving Day high fives, and it's a team effort. And you know, I made a comment, you know, on Twitter about I feel like it's a bunch of, you know, you guys don't have a bunch of stars, and I didn't mean it like 3 stars, 4 stars. I mean it that it's a whole team of stars.
Yeah,
it
no
takes
personalities.
That's
that,
it. That's it.
You know, it's no personalities that want to hog the attention. Our guys are they've been playing with each other for a long time. Dale City is very unique in that it's part of Mid-Dale, but it's like a one-horse kind of like small town feel.
Yes, sir.
Because these kids grew up here. Dale City is not very big. They've been playing with each other for a while, and they're just not selfish. They don't care who signs. We want to win, and They didn't understand that winning it happens by what we can control, what we can control. All we can do is go out and give effort during the week. Like I told the kids in that he won that game and performed the way he did because of the way he practiced during the week. He did not just show up Friday and win that game. That was during the week, practicing 7-on-7, practicing inside and team. And not only that, we didn't have film on the sidelines. You know?
No, you didn't.
Yeah, our film malfunctioned, so that's a big advantage that the Choctaw had over us, that theirs was working. So he did a great job of just adjusting on the fly because he was not able to go look at the film and see what they're trying to do. We had to really coach on the fly, and I draw back to my experience in Texas because that's illegal. You can't do it in Texas. It's illegal to have any type of film on the sideline. So thankfully enough, I had that experience, and thankfully enough, he had the experience of grinding from January to June. And it really showed, and I think our team is going to continue to mature because they're starting to figure out the process is part of the grind before you get to the reward of the game. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited what he's going to do. He's leading our team in the right direction. He's very selfless. He doesn't care who gets the attention. He doesn't care who he's getting the ball to. He's going to spread it out and give it to open. And his mobility is very dangerous, and people have to respect that. And we got different weapons. You know, you got Kaniger, Jaden Foreman, Josiah Burris, Jalen Sweed, DeMarvin Turner. I can go on and on about the group of receivers we have. So you can't really doubt. If you're going to focus on Kaniger, then Foreman is going to get off. If you're going to focus on Kaniger and Foreman, then you got Jalen Sweed and DeMarvin Turner. So the amount of weapons that we have mixed in with Day-Day's savviness and just freak of nature for his size, I think it's going to be pretty hard for people to stop us, but we got to take control of what we can control, and that's the preparation that we have to do during the week, starting today, again, at practice. So I'm excited about getting out there today and seeing what we can do.
Well, folks, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back and let one of our sponsors do their thing. But like I said, we appreciate Day coming on and coming on with Keeping 100 Coach Jones show. Our first, I'm going to call him the player of the week. I mean, you know, like I said, you got two guys that really played of the week. You got, you know, Day and you got, you know, Kaniger. I mean, both had great numbers, but, you know, everybody knows who Kaniger Thomas is in the state of Oklahoma. But I want everybody to find out who this young man is, number 13. Where that's D-Nice, put that shirt on, let them see that number.
Yeah.
Hey, let them see it, man. I tell you, this guy played. I've known this young man for a long time and come from a great family. I mean, just real humble. Look at him, man. I mean, we had him on the quarterback show a few weeks back. I just love the swag. My daughter loves Day. Zoe loves her some Day. So that's a big thing.
That's the sports. When you have a smaller stature quarterback, everybody ends up falling in love with him. Look at Doug Flutie. You could look at Kyler Murray because it's getting to the point where height shouldn't matter.
Nope.
I mean, what do you do on the field?
And that's it. He balled out. I mean, and that's why I get so mad about because I've had some short kids. I'm praying now. I'm hoping my daughter can get 5'6", 5'7", just because people that's short, they get the short end of the stick, Coach. And it bothers me sometimes because you don't know what your kid's going to be. You might marry a woman that's 6'8", and your kid still could be.
Some of my best players have been small in stature because they have that chip on their shoulder. Not only do they have that chip on their shoulder, they just, their whole life, they have adapted to their size, and Day has been adapting. I'm telling you, Day could be a receiver for us.
Yep.
He could be a cornerback. Hell, he could be a linebacker. Whatever he needs to play, and his size doesn't matter. And that's a testament to his family, and that's a testament to his mental toughness to be able to do those type of things. I'm excited about him. He's a great leader for us.
Well, like I said, we'll be right back after one of our sponsors, Keeping It 100.
With 25 years experience in the industry, Linex Customs OKC is your one-stop shop for all your vehicle accessory needs. Specializing in spray-in liners, lifts, levels, wheels, tires, bed covers, and anything else you need to make your ride look and sound better. Call Eric and the boys at 405-778-8878.
Welcome back to Keep It 100, Coach Jones Show on this Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday evening, however you want to call it. We get to hang out with Coach Jones. Coach Jones, I want to tell you congratulations on your first victory this year of the new season. It was a great game, great crowd. Everything was beautiful. The way I got to tell you what really tickled me is when you walk into the parking lot and you got the dunk tank out there.
Yeah.
You know what that means, Coach? The community's coming together, kids out there having a good time, man. It was the best crowd I've seen, and I went to almost every game last year at home game. It's the best crowd, and you know where that comes from? What you're doing here, turning this community around.
Thank you.
Coming together as a family. But Coach, I mean, I just want to tell you, I mean, you pulled a good one off, you know. I mean, it was a 38-34 ball game against a great team over there at Choctaw, a 6A small powerhouse. Corbin and his staff has done a great job getting those guys to where they want to be. But you guys come out on top, some big plays in the ball game.
Yeah.
But, before I let you get to talk, I want to say one thing to you, though. I'm going to give you a little bit, I'm going to brag on you a little bit.
Yeah.
You're 3-0
Yeah.
against Coach Hall, Coach Dunn, and Coach Corbin.
Yeah.
All the teams around here in this little metro.
Yes, sir.
You on the block.
Yes.
You say new kids on the block?
Yeah.
Jones is on the block.
Yeah.
Aha! That's what we do over here. We keep it 100. But, Coach, tell me a little bit about the game, though. I'll let you do a little talking.
Yeah, and speaking what you just spoke on, that's something that as a program we want to accomplish. We want to be the best team in our area.
Yes, sir.
And it's okay to talk about that, and it's okay to say that's one of our goals. If you want to be the best, you got to go out and beat the best. And thankfully, we have programs in the area that are always going to be state contender, state championship contender type teams with Carl Albert, the multiple championships they have won. Choctaw with the new emergence of their program and where they're headed and playing in the state championship and giving Bixby probably their hardest test in the last 5 years. And then Midwest City with the tradition that they have and having a coach that has won a couple state championships. So for us to be able to go out there and go 3-0 versus those programs in the past year, it's a testament of it's a lot of different things. It's our community, it's our administrators, our teachers, our parents, our kids, and them buying into the process of character development and CDEP, and buying into the strength condition program, and then our coaches. We don't have a lot of turnover in the last couple of years. With Coach Dunn leaving, and with several people leaving this year, but our coaches and then our kids understand our motto is we got to keep rolling. This train keeps moving on, no matter who leaves or who's here. We're going to live by our standards of CDEP, and we're going to work hard, and we're going to control what we can control, and that's our attitude and effort. As far as the game with Choctaw, I knew what type of atmosphere it would be. I knew what type of game it was going to be. Everybody was looking forward to that game in the playoffs. So I knew that the excitement would be there with the fans, the excitement would be there with the kids and the coaches, and it lived up to everything it was what it was supposed to be. It was a great game. It was a heavyweight championship match where we're just slugging each other, going back and forth. Still is everything is advertised. He's a great player, and I knew that coming in. He made some great plays, and like we spoke earlier, DeKalen, D-Nice, what'd you say, D-Nice?
D-Nice.
D-Nice matched his effort, and that kept
Step
us in the
to step.
game. Yeah, and I knew offensively they would be dangerous. I knew that we had to create turnovers, and I knew that we can only contain them for so long, and we were able to contain them for, majority of the first 3 quarters, and still made some big plays in the latter part of the third quarter and fourth quarter, and those are plays that I think moving forward that our defense will make. We had 8 new starters on defense. Mm-hmm. Anytime you have 8 new starters, and one of the starters, he started last year, but it was a different scheme.
Yeah.
So to me, he's a new player, and when it's a new scheme, it's a new
gotta learn
player. Yeah, you got to learn it. So to be able to go out there and compete against the best quarterback in the state and have 8 new starters on defense and play like we did and create turnovers, I think the future is bright and the sky's the limit for our defense. Offensively, that's what I wanted to see. I couldn't ask for a better performance all around. We talked about it all year. Everybody has says all Dale City is missing as a quarterback. All Dale City is missing as a passing game, and I think we have found that. Now we got to go out there and show it this week versus Booker T. They do some things different, but for him to go out there and play like that and to give us the confidence defensively that we don't always have to shut people out, our offense can have our back, it gives us a feeling of playing loose and playing confident. So I think that's going to help us out in the future. But those are the type of games I want to coach in. Those are the type of games that I want my program in, to be able to show that we are the type of program that could be in that atmosphere and play against those suburban type teams, and not only play against them, beat them in some of the discipline stuff,
Yes, sir.
Kicking field goals,
Yes.
being able to adjust and not have film. I can't stress enough how important that is. I know they don't have it in Texas, but these coaches are used to it. Our coaching staff is used to having film and making adjustments. So me and Coach Donna, as coordinators, had to really adjust. And that was tough. It was difficult because I could, from the sideline, you can't see what's going on. Everybody in the stands, like people were messaging me at halftime and saying I need to do this and that. When you're on the field, you don't see it like that because it's just so going so fast and you can't get that view. So for us to be able to overcome that adversity that we didn't have film, that shows that our preparation was on point. So we've been preparing for this game since July, and it showed, and I knew that that's what it would take, and I'm excited about it. Who knows if they're going to play for a state championship? I just know that they have the best quarterback, and they were ranked #1.
Yes, sir.
And they were on our schedule, and we took care of business, and I'm excited about it. But I told our kids coming in Monday, that's over with.
It's over.
As soon as everybody is praising you and loving you, they could be criticizing you and getting on your butt Saturday morning, right, if you lose this next game. So we're moving forward, and we're focusing on Booker T. We enjoyed the win. I'm glad we were able to get that for our community, but now it's time to move forward and get our eyes set on the Booker T Hornets.
Well, Coach, I'm gonna go quick stats real quick on the offense. Like I said, it was a great offense, showing about a little bit of everything. I mean, everybody knew the man of the night was, Kanizer. He put on the show. Man. He put on the Xbox, PlayStation, Juke, the R-Stick, and everything was going his way. But, Kanizer Thompson came in with what, I think he had, 5 catches for 167 yards, 3 TDs, and and this guy played
interception as well.
Coach, I'm gonna get to that defense.
Okay. Yes, sir.
And so I tell you what I like about it, because he's playing on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
He's playing on both sides of the ball. He's running fades, running across the middle, catching the ball, but then he'll turn around. And I think he only sat out maybe 2 plays. He cramped up, got right back in.
Yes, sir.
He led the way with the receivers. I know Foreman had a catch, a TD catch too.
Yeah.
Shows that even though he's a defensive tackle, he can catch the ball. And that tight end, him playing that tight end, going back and watching film, he's a mismatch to a lot of people,
Coach,
man.
just body position.
Yeah, and that comes from that basketball. Lady Hatch will give you a shout out.
Yes, sir.
But I'm saying, like that little slant he caught, little tight end dump. You could tell the kid was on his hip, but he kind of, kept
shielded him off, blocking him out for a rebound.
So with him, and then like the running game attack was real good. Adama had 7 carries for 77 yards. Like we talked about the QB, D Nice, he had 9 carries for 75 yards. Q Brown, he had a catch for 45 yards. That's number 7, right?
Omar Brown.
Omar Brown.
He's a freak.
What grade is he in now?
He's a senior, but he's 6'3", 185, and his size is very, very intimidating. You can see it out there.
Yeah, he really impressed me. I tell you one play, I think it's like third 25, third long, and he comes up with a big catch, and he makes a couple of people miss.
He gave us the field goal.
Yep, they gave
us the difference in the game.
And I'm glad you talk about that, because some of the small things that you don't see in high school and college. I know a couple of my guys were asking me, why the other team going for 2 or not kicking the field goal. I can't speak for that team because I'm a firm believer. I'm old school, kick the field goal.
Don't chase points.
Yeah, don't chase points.
Yeah.
And punt the ball. You need to punt the ball. But I tell you, I'm sitting on the sideline, and I'm back and forth, nervous, and I feel like I'm coaching the game. And I look over, and I told one of the guys I'm standing next to, and shout out to Brian Tapley coming all the way from Bethel to come watch the Eagles, man. That's big time.
Yes, sir.
I know Paul Durham. I know he just had that new baby. He said he'll be out. He was giving me a hard time on Facebook. And I said, I told him I ain't on the train. I'm with the Robert Jones show. I love it. But going back to the field goal, though, I told somebody, I said, if he makes this field goal, Eagles gonna win this ball game. Yeah. And it came down to that. They missed the extra point, but for that guy,
it would have been 37 to it would have been, what was it? It would have been 35-34. They kicked the field goal at that time. If they could, and they won the game.
Yeah. So so those things, like you said, don't chase points, but those things are the most important. But going to the defensive side of the ball, you had some good things over there. Leading the way with tackles. A. Carter, he had 8. Then you had Tango, his first Dell City High School game. Played a good game. You could kind of tell, watching him.
It was new to him.
Yeah, new to him. It was speed.
From John Marshall.
That's it. People can talk about 2A, 4A, 5A, 6A, but there is a big difference.
That's a difference, all right.
And he got good size though. Good sized kid. But I told Coach, I said by week 3, week 4, he's gonna be like your Jason. He's gonna be. Because he hit somebody one time, and I felt it on the sideline. That's just how hard the kid was hitting.
Yes, sir.
But I just tell you, then you had Brian Adama.
Yeah, Braylon Adama.
Braylon Adama. He had 6 tackles. Then you had Kanizer with an interception, and then number 4.
That's Braylon Adama.
Okay, he had an interception too. Yeah. So great job from these guys in the secondary, man. I tell you, granted, one thing they didn't do, and I will say, Choctaw never was. Open.
The catches were contested. That's why I really wasn't. I wasn't as critical on them as I would be if they were running wide open.
No.
Touchdown catches that they caught, we were in contention, and I think in the future we will make those plays. And speaking on Kanizer, he has started since a freshman, so each year he has had to go against older upperclassmen. Freshman year going against sophomores, juniors, seniors. Sophomore year, juniors and seniors. Last year going against seniors. Now he's finally able to go against the competition that is his age, and I think it's starting to show. And then Tango, like you said, that was the fastest. That's his first time ever playing linebacker. He's a defensive end, and to be able to go against a quarterback like that and the speed of the game, it really opened his eyes. And I think, like you said, moving forward, once we get in the district,
And once you get in the district,
rolling.
you get to
Absolutely.
rolling.
Yes,
So
sir.
Coach, like I said, that's a great win. You start off 1-0. Now you're going to take that road down the turnpike, and I kind of tease you on my show. I said, "Hope they got a pike pass in this joke in case somebody say something." But you guys make that road down to Booker T, a team that beat you last year.
Yeah.
One of the teams that beat you, Denver Sand Springs. But going into this game, they got a great receiver themselves.
Michael Tees.
And then they got a good quarterback as a 4-year starter.
Yeah.
Boone, I think he just picked up a D1 offer from Air Force just the other day. So, what's the game plan going into this game? Because like I said, you're kind of mirroring yourself with the athletes.
Yeah.
But I think you guys got a little bit more firepower on the offensive side of the ball in defense, because Booker T's not what it used to be, but they still got some kids that can make plays.
Going into this game, first of all, we're going to reflect on what happened last year. We had 2 turnovers, and we gave it to them within the 10-yard line.
Yes, sir.
The first, one was a scoop and score. The other one, Kanaja, when he was playing running back, fumble, and we gave it to him on the 8. So we spotted them 14 points. They're too good for us to give them points. So just like Choctaw, we don't want to turn the ball over, and then we want to create turnovers, and then we have to have. I'm always going into the game and game plan as a defensive coordinator to stop every team's best player. We wanted to stop Steele. I feel like we contained him for the majority of the game, and then he got loose a couple times on us. And then Michael Tees, he's the number 2 player in the state. He's fast, he's committed to Arkansas.
Yes, sir.
He's an explosive athlete. We've seen him last year. So going into this game, we're going to have a plan to be able to stop him, and we're going to have a plan to be able to contain the quarterback. Football is a copycat sport, to where they're going to watch film of Steele and see what he did. So they're going to try to find a way to get the ball in his hands and use his running ability. Our kids are looking forward to that challenge. Cole Red never likes to give up the yardage that we gave up. We gave up 478 yards versus Choctaw, and that's a lot. And we put the offense back up in the corner, and they had our back. So we're going to go out this week. We're working on tackling. We're working on understanding quarterback scramble, and we made some fixes and focused on some details that we had to get fixed. And we really want to get after them defensively. We want to get after the quarterback. We want to be able to play some coverages that we have some help on tees. And then offensively, they like to play man coverage. They love going man coverage. So we have to use some formations that are unique to whatever. We can take advantage of that and really be prepared for their blitzes and be prepared for their speed. You watch them on film and they never look as good as they do in person.
Yes, sir.
And it's been that way since I was in high school. You're always like, man, they don't look. We feel like we can get after them when you get there. They're fast, they're explosive. They're just like you said, they're a splitting image of what we are.
Yes,
so it's always been a great game. I think it's great to have 2 programs that are predominantly black go against each other, and not only go against each other, but show that we could be disciplined on both programs, and show that we can give the communities and give the state of Oklahoma a great football game. So I'm excited about it. I'm looking forward to it. Coach Brown does a great job with those guys. They're also a state championship contender type program. So we're in another position to show where we're at as a program, and I'm looking forward to it.
That's good stuff. Like I said, you got 2 great athletes that are probably following each other, and Nigel and then Tees. One's going to K-State, the other one's going to Arkansas. Then you got the QB, like I said, he just got his first D1. Then you got Foreman going to Oklahoma State. So you got some stars out there, So it's going to be a good showing. And I know you want to get this game because it's a game that you lost last year, a game that you should have easily could have won.
Yes.
And so now you get a chance to go to their house and pay the same favor they did to you last year. But I tell you, I think watching Del City. You talk about the little things, giving up to 400 yards. I know you've been a defense coordinator. That's something that's going to be fixed. Like I said, you got 8 new starters. You went against a powerful offense, man. One thing about Choctaw in the years, from the last 5 years, they've been an explosive offense, scoring 50, 60 points a game.
To kind of see
where you stand.
See where we stand. And then I didn't bring this up. Speaking of Foreman, that's been an emphasis with us all spring too. We have got to get him the ball. I told Coach Madonna he is the type of player that he needs to be touching the ball 4 to 5 times a game, just because he creates matchups. When you have speed outside and you want to double Kanaja or do some things, and you put a safety or linebacker on Foreman, that's a nightmare because his body size, and he still can run. He's moving very well right now. So I'm excited to see him and see what he can do, especially against Booker T, because they like to run man. And if you put a man on him, you're putting yourself in a position to have a long night.
You know, Booker T comes to this game at 0-1 to get beat by Bentonville West, you
Yeah.
know, 28-7. So that kind of tells you right there, you know, where they stand at. You know, they don't want to go come into the season 0-2, and you know, like I said, and it's a tough deal when you start 0-2, because now you start, am I doing everything right?
Yeah, you start questioning.
You start, that's it. So it's a good feel for you guys coming in at 1-0 and getting a big win, and that's a big win against the Choctaw Yellowjacks. I mean, you know, people might think, oh, it means a lot.
It means a lot, especially because we didn't take care of business. When you're up 38-21, that game should have never came down to the last second like that. Thankful that they did not use that timeout. Gosh, I was worried about that, but we got to learn how to put our foot on people's throats. You can't be up 38-21 going into the fourth quarter and having an atmosphere like that and the crowd on our back and us having the momentum and then just changing like that. So that's the thing that we're going to focus on too, starting faster. The third and first quarter killed us offensively. We didn't score in the first quarter, and then third quarter. I mean the first and fourth quarter. We didn't start fast offensively, then we didn't finish strong. So we have to finish strong. When we get to that point, if we want to be a state championship caliber team, when you smell blood, you got to capitalize on that and go ahead and finish the deal. So that'd be a thing that if we do get in that position, we want to go ahead and finish them off this week and not make it a pressure-filled moment towards the end of the game like that.
Well, Coach, like I said, you go take care of business, you know,
That's
against
right.
Booker T. Washington. You know, the one thing about it, you played the Yellow Jackets, now you're playing the Hornets. So only advice I can give you, use the same bug spray you used last week.
We're going to try to.
And that's it. It'll take care of business, you know.
Yeah.
But like I said, before I let you go, I know next week you'll have another big rival game. And I tell you, I give it up to you, man. You ain't got no cupcakes. There ain't no KDs on this schedule. So there's no cupcakes. You know, you start off with Choctaw, you go up the Turnpike, you got Booker T, then you come back home, and you got Miller City, you know, the Bombers, you know. And I tell you, I would love this. I would love to. I'm gonna shout it out to you, Andy. I would love next year to have a, you know, when y'all doing like a pad camp or even like a little fundraiser. It'd be good to have all four teams kind of in a little.
Yeah, I would love that. You know, just to get everybody, because it's competitive fun, you know, and everybody needs a. I think people take things too personal in rivalries. They're supposed to be fun. They're supposed to be. The community's supposed to know players from each school, and it's supposed to be live. I remember growing up and coming to watch Benny Butler, Vernon Maxwell, Gooden, Mike Woods. I used to love that, and everybody knew, regardless if you were a Dell City fan or Millwood City fan, you knew both players. You knew players from both sides of the town, and it was just fun. We need to get back to that and playing each other. I know Millwood City and Carl Albert's playing this week, and I'm a football fan. I'm looking forward to
a good game,
that, and I'm just looking forward to seeing that. So I'm excited about that. I was going to ask you, are we going to do special teams and defensive players?
Yes. I mean, I want you to name those guys, and I did. You know, this is our first week. You know, I kind of brought D Nice in here, Mr. Day, you know, Goodwin. I brought him in here because I wanted people to see who he was, man. The game he played, man. Like I said, I mean, he's big by his size, but he plays like he's 6'2", 6'3".
Absolutely.
And I tell you, that's why I brought him in here. I mean, everyone knows Canajo was a star that night, you know. Yeah. But like I said, you know, I'll let Coach do the special teams and those players.
Yeah, you know, like you said, Dade got offensive player of the week, and then going to defense, you got to give it to Canajo.
Yes, sir.
You know, he flew around. You know, he was back there communicating. At one point in time, especially that last drive, you could tell we're all new starters. Nobody was looking at me for the defense call. And I ran out of timeouts. That's why I had to utilize my timeouts throughout the game, because still had them on their heels, and they were not getting the defensive call for me. So they were out there just kind of doing freelancing on their own. Because Nigel was getting them lined up. He was playing that middle safety, and he definitely had still worried. You know, he almost got another interception.
He did. He came back.
That was one of the quickest breaks.
Yes.
When you see him explode out of that ball, you see that you got a 4-4 guy. So him being a leader and doing what he did, and you know, he's a defensive player of the game. And special teams, I got to give it to Stanley. You know, kicking it, I can't stress enough. When you have guys that can kick it in the end zone, and guys are starting from the 20, it just lowers the percentage of them having drive. When you got to drive at 80 yards, especially against a team like Choctaw who's not going to punt.
Yes,
I think they punted one time. So making them drive 80 yards, that not only wears them out, it makes it just difficult to go 80 yards against a good defense that are going to be bringing pressure. So Stanley, once again, he did a great job with the field goal as well.
Yes, sir.
You know, the snap was high. I was worried. And
That kid can kick. Where you think he can go? What's his longest?
man, last year versus Carl Albert, he hit a 45-yarder.
I was gonna say he's close to the 50, 45, 50.
Yeah.
I mean, and he takes it serious when he's on that sideline.
That's
He's
one
stretching
thing I
that
gotta figure
leg.
out
and-
as a head coach is how, because I've never been in this position to have a kicker recruited. I have to figure out a
Man,
way
that kid can go,
to get him
man.
recruited because he can go and he got size. He kind of reminds me.
He
of
can
that-
play linebacker.
Yeah, what's the remember the Raiders had a kicker?
Oh, yeah,
that was from Florida
I
State.
know you're
can't
talking
remember
about,
his name, but he was huge.
God, he was there forever. I know you're talking about. It'll
so
come to my mind. Yes,
he reminds me of that guy. So going special teams, shoot, that's big for us, man. I can't
Yes.
stress enough that field goal was huge, and he went 5 for 5 on PATs.
PATs.
I believe Choctaw's kicker
He
missed
missed
one,
one.
and I think that's a big deal.
That's a
because
big
that would've
difference.
been 35
That's-
to 38. That's the difference in the game.
When he threw that long touchdown pass to, actually, I take it back. I think when he.
It was on that one. It was on the one touchdown, the post route.
The post route when he
Yeah,
threw it to Will
they
Smith,
so
yeah,
it made it 38.
30, yeah. And if he makes that, extra point. If they go down, kick a field goal, we're going to overtime.
Yes.
But that was the big difference in the game of him missing an extra point. And
Absolutely.
I think that young man is Yogi or whatever his name is, but he's a good kicker for him too. I mean, he won the Stillwater game a few years back. So I'll just tell you, two great teams battled it out. High school football is going to be really interesting this year. I think Delsey's in the front runner. I think Carl Albert went down and took a beating with Poweta, but I think they can bounce back. I mean,
They always do, man. They'll bounce back. They got a great coaching staff,
Yeah.
and they'll figure out a way to do things. I hate, even though they're a rival, and obviously I want to be competitive against them. I hate that their quarterback got hurt.
Yeah, man.
That's just so bad for the kid.
Especially being your senior year.
Yeah, he put in so much work. I pray that he can
Come back.
come back and get some film. And I just pray somebody gives him a chance because he's a great athlete. He can play safety, he can play cornerback, play running back. I pray that somebody gives him an opportunity to go play on the next level.
Well, Coach, like I said, that's all we got for this week. But I tell you,
sir.
we'll come back and we'll wrap up, next week talking about the Hornets. And then we'll get to talk about my River City Bombers and Coach Hall and then their thing. And that'll be a great game, a great rival, folks. Rival used to be the first game of the season. You can tell.
I wish we can get back to that.
It's kind of changed a little bit, but it's still a great rival. Two great coaches, Coach Hall
Yes.
and Coach Jones, going against each other next week. But like I said, Coach Jones got to go take care of the Hornets this week, and then we'll move on. But folks, I appreciate you watching another great show of Keep It 100, the Coach Jones Show, and we'll see you next week. See ya.
Where we at, Glenn? Where we at, Glenn?
You have to kiss me. Please don't hate me, just hate me. You put it over me, you don't underestimate.
It breaks my heart.